Vanity Fair is getting some criticism after it included Hillary Clinton in one of its series and suggested that Clinton should look for other hobbies rather than get involved in politics again. Now, this was part of its business vertical known as Hive, and I'll let you watch the portion of the video that got the most criticism and we'll discuss. Take a look.
You know, on Anderson Cooper, you were telling him about alternate nostril breathing. You seem really adept. You should try teaching a class.
Take more photos in the woods. How else are you going to meet unsuspecting hikers?
Take up a new hobby in the new year. Volunteer work, knitting, improv comedy, literally anything that'll keep you from running again.
So the last portion that you saw was of Maya Kosoff, and the criticism that she's getting is in regard to her statement suggesting that Hillary Clinton should take up knitting. And people are saying that that was a sexist statement to make and they're enraged about it. Let me give you a few examples of the criticism. Patricia Arquette tweeted, hey, stop telling women what the they should do or can do, get over your mommy issues. Peter Dow, who worked with Hillary Clinton, said, I ended 2015 defending Hillary Clinton from sexist attacks. I ended 2016 defending Hillary Clinton from sexist attacks. I'm ending 2017 defending Hillary Clinton from sexist attacks. So much for my Twitter break. Okay, so look, I don't know, I don't think that Maya Kosoff planned or I don't think the intention was to be sexist. I think that that's like a common thing when people say when they're trying to suggest that people should get a hobby, right? So look, I get that the entire video might seem annoying because you're telling someone what they should do with themselves and it might rub people the wrong way. But like, let's save the sexist criticism for people who are actually being sexist. I think the #1 offense with that whole video was that it just wasn't funny.
But you know, you got to give people some leeway to. They tried, and it wasn't great, but that's okay. And so and context is super important. So they did a video making fun of Donald Trump, and they told him to get off Twitter. They did a video about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and it's some weird skit involving Bernie Sanders and how they should do a show together or something. Yeah. Okay, but nobody's losing it over that. So look, should you tell a woman to go knitting? Generally, of course not, right? So I'm sure that if they had to do it again, they would have put something else other than knitting in, right? But now we're parsing every word that anyone has ever said. So they also said she should do improv comedy. Okay, so that doesn't seem particularly sexist. They said she should do volunteer work, and then somebody on Twitter got mad at that. They're like, do you know how much volunteer work she did earlier in her career?
I can't.
Come on, guys, they're just saying let it go. And
I feel like Twitter has become nothing more than a tool to push manufactured outrage and fake outrage out into the public consciousness. It's really, there's so many things happening right now in the country that people should be outraged about. And I get it, you can be outraged about multiple things at the same time. But I would say on the list of priorities, this is really low. I don't even think it should be on the list of priorities. Who cares? Who cares? They did a little video where they were trying to be funny and they're trying to have some fun. Like, if you think that this is an example of sexism, then just go back and really reevaluate what sexism is, right? When people are actually affected by things, policies and mentalities that affect their bottom line, affect their way of living, their quality of life, that's the stuff that we should be focused on, not a fun little skit video about hobbies.
So look, I'll give you 2 examples of that. One is the story we covered yesterday, Bernie Sanders talking about where sexual harassment is the worst in places we're not paying attention to. We're paying a lot of attention to the media and celebrities for understandable reasons, he explained. And we showed you a chart Hannah did yesterday. That's only 1.6% of the sexual harassment. The overwhelming majority is in the service industry. So waitresses, people that work in hotels, etc. And we're not paying any attention to that. Let's go handle that, because when you make a huge story about the knitting comment, people then, you might think it's wrong, you might think it's terrible, but a lot of people go, yeah, then apparently this wasn't a real issue.
It makes it seem as though any other accusation of sexism that really has some credibility behind it is not worth listening to or paying attention to.
And one more example specifically about Hillary Clinton. I remember when they did this hatchet job on her. Might have even been during the primaries when I was not on her side, but I pointed out that they were doing this thing where former Secret Service guys say how she used to yell at Bill Clinton and throw temper tantrums. Every part of it reeked of sexism. It was every sexist stereotype you've ever seen, right? See, that was sexist, and it was against Hillary Clinton. We should all be super angry about that and defend her for that. Whether you agree with her or she's your candidate or not, that shouldn't be allowed to stand. But when you take a Vanity Fair video out of context, they did it against all these different people, and you say the one word they use against Hillary is so unacceptable that I'm worried that you lose credibility over it. And yes, I actually do care about your credibility, because when you fight against sexism, we want to fight against sexism and we want to win that fight. What you just watched was one of the videos that we do today, but we actually do a whole 2-hour show every single day. It's a podcast. You could watch it in video or listen to it as audio. You can download it, you can stream it, and you get it completely ad-free if you could become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.